A very good morning to you. Welcome to the West Ham Voice on Thursday morning. First of all, congratulations to West Ham for beating Everton 2-1 in the tournament in America late last night. And on the whole, it was a very positive performance, some very good, decent performances. Now, I won't be providing a review of the game in this video, as there's some important transfer update news that I want to bring to you. But look out for the review that I'll do later today. Look, if you're new to this channel, first time you're watching, or if you've watched before but yet to become a subscriber, please do subscribe. All the content is free. And also, if you enjoy the video, please hit the like button. So what's this important transfer update? Well, on Wednesday, the senior source at West Ham was asked whether we actually have the resource to make further signings or whether we needed to sell another player before any further signings came to West Ham. The answer was clear. We have bids in. Now, of course, there's a lot of speculation now with the news that Lucas Paquetá is going to be officially exonerated of his the FA hearing charges, that we're going to sell him. And there was speculation earlier this week that we're going to sell him for as little as £30 million. And that's been denied. But we were told, well, the player is worth to us 60 million. And of course, tongues are now wagging. There you go. There's the price. You know, we're going to sell yet another player, which is why we haven't bought anyone in. But that's not been the reply that we got. We replied, no need to sell. Bids are in. And no, do I count bids for the likes of Callum Wilson and Mikel Antonio as legitimate bids? I guess in a way they are. But I'm thinking about bids for other players. Now, just on Callum Wilson, very briefly, as I mentioned the other day, the club doubled down on the Wilson bid, stating that the deal made sense as it's 90% pay as you go, and that the agent gets nothing unless the player makes a big contribution. Gets nothing? Really? The senior source went on to say that it's the manager who has final choice, final decision on transfers, final call, and that no player will be forced on him if he didn't want him. But we have yet to see any light of Wilson's signing. And as I mentioned the other day, perhaps he and his agent are seeking better bids elsewhere. But back to the senior source confirming that we've made bids. Now, my understanding is that not only have we made a bid for one of the keepers who we've been continuously linked to throughout this transfer window, but we've also made a bid for Josh Brownhill as well. Now, there are strong rumours that we've also back in for Jacob Ramsey. Now, before I talk about Brownhill and Ramsey, let me briefly talk about the video that went out on my channel on Wednesday about the two young goalkeepers, Robin whufc and Piers Charles. Now, when I do these videos, I usually have several topics in mind. And on Tuesday, I recorded two videos, the one about these two keepers and the video about why there was a delay in bringing in our third summer signing. I decided to go for the delay video that went out on Tuesday. And then I opted to put the goalie video out on Wednesday. I wish I'd done that the other way round, because no sooner had that video about the two goalies gone out on Wednesday that I was told that whufc was having a medical and was about to be imminently signed by Sunderland. As the saying goes, yesterday's news is tomorrow's fish and chip paper. Anyway, let's move on before this video also becomes null and void. Now, there is growing speculation that despite being told that signing a goalkeeper is the top priority this week, we may actually find ourselves agreeing a fee or fees for two midfielders who already wear the claret and blue. Josh Brownhill, formerly of Burnley, he's now a free agent when his contract ended at the end of June. And of course, Jacob Ramsey, who was of Aston Villa, who was linked to us at the start of the transfer window. But that story sort of like died down, but it's come to light again over the last few days. Now, I won't lie, if we were to get both these players in, I, for one, would not be complaining. And I'm saying this even though I want to see my constant preference is for the Carl Macaulay project to come to light, bringing in younger players. Brownhill is 29. He'll be 30 when in December. And he's not a Will Sorthouse client, which many people believe he is. Would he be a good signing? Well, He's got a wealth of experience under his belt. He's played at senior level for a number of clubs: Barnsley, Preston, Bristol City, and Burnley. 462 appearances in total, where he scored 58 goals with 40 assists. In his time at Burnley, he made 211 appearances. That's with 32 goals and 23 assists. It's modest. It's not fantastic, but it's modest. He captained the team last season, bringing them back into the Premier League, where in 42 championship appearances, he scored a whopping 18 goals with 6 assists. He was their highest goal scorer. He's got a knack for arriving late in the box and finishes with great composure. He's got a good pass accuracy rate of 84%. He's a gritty, hard-working midfielder who can put his foot in to help the team defend, as well as creating chances and scoring goals at the other end of the pitch. So, is he the box-to-box midfielder we need? Well, to be fair, he is better than what we currently have, or is he though? But he's not. He's not to say that there's no better out there. But let's say he signs, I don't know, a 2-year deal. His experience will speak volumes, whilst the likes of Lewis Orford and Preston Fearon continue their development until one or both of them are ready to take over from Brownhill in a couple of seasons' time. So no, I wouldn't be averse to Brownhill coming to West Ham. But what of his record the previous season when he was playing in the Premier League in the 23-24 season? Well, in that season, 35 appearances, it didn't go so well for a struggling Burnley side. He scored only 4 goals with 3 assists. So it's always difficult to know whether you're going to bring in a player, you're going to get one in their prime, the way he was last season, or you're going to get one the way he was the season before that. Look, if I had a preference, I would prefer a younger, more dynamic box-to-box midfielder. But Brownhill, as I said, can bring experience and skill that we kind of currently lack in that senior midfield squad. And what about Jacob Ramsey? Well, would it be either Brownhill or Ramsey, or could it be both? Well, I guess Ramsey is a very different prospect altogether, 24 years of age, and he is a Will Salthouse client, but a very good one at that. Now, he operates primarily an attacking midfield role, can play out wide as well and cutting in. He's got great dribbling skills, intelligent movement on and off the ball. He's an Aston Villa youth development product, and if Villa were to sell him, it would realise a straight profit for the club, which will further ease their PSR anxieties. Now, I know, I'm aware, they did something, they sold the women's team to themselves, which helped with PSR, but the sale of Ramsey could prove beneficial for them in the future for PSR. He's made 167 senior appearances so far, scoring 17 goals and 19 assists. That's okay. Last season was a half-decent season for the player, but many feel there's an awful lot more to come from him. In 4 to 6 appearances last season, in all competitions, he only scored the 4 goals with 7 assists. If Villa were to sell him, then the asking price would be interesting. He's got 2 years left on his contract, and he could come at a price of around £30 million. A bit over the top, maybe, but if he reaches the potential that many say he's capable of, it might be worth pursuing. Now, I can see both Brownhill and Ramsey provide a little more grit, a little more pace in the midfield, that as I said, that we currently lack. So watch this space over the coming days as to where we're heading in the transfer window for these particular players. There are, of course, other midfielders that we continue to be linked to. Club Brugge's Ardon Jajari, where AC Milan are struggling to get a deal over the line. Mateus Fernandes of Southampton, who I discussed the other day, and still Douglas Luiz of Juve. These stories won't go away. But the common theme with all these 3 midfielders is price, a price that I think we're unable to achieve to pay, which is around £40 million. Each club wants around 40 million for their players. Okay, what about the goalie situation? Because this week we've been consistently told that a keeper was the top priority. Now, along with Samson not being in Leicester's pre-season team because he's recovering from an injury, another goalie who's reported to have missed training is Parma's Zion Suzuki. However, the goalie did feature in Parma's friendly game against Werder Bremen only a few days ago. And it's going to be interesting to see if he features in Parma's next friendly, which is held today, later on Thursday, against Spain's Mallorca. Now, from what I've heard, West Ham went as far as making an inquiry about Suzuki, but that inquiry went no further. Now, so either way, um, he's either injured because he's either missing training, sorry, because he's injured, or he's missing training because there's quite possibly a bidding for him to be sold. Look, if he's not included in Parma's next game, that would lead further that would be further speculation that maybe he is going to leave. Let's see what happens with him over the next few days. But all bets are off at the moment with regards to Matt Samson. There's many fans, West Ham and Leicester fans, believe that he is Graham Potter's number one target. Could it be that West Ham are stalling from completing this deal until he's back, until he's got the all clear from his injury? Now, Hermansen did indeed pick up a groin injury, which was at the end of April, and he was due to return from that injury about a week or so ago. Now, looking at his record, he had two groin injuries last season, missing 8 games, then a further 4. He's had other injuries as well in his past. For example, he's had a hamstring injury, which kept him out of the Leicester team for 4 games in the 23-24 season, plus 2 injuries whilst at Bromby, which saw him miss a further 10 games. So it's going to be interesting to hear whether West Ham are just waiting for the all clear. It makes sense. You know, if he's only just recovering from an injury, it makes sense for West Ham to know that he's got the all clear before we sign him. Now, Suzuki, however, he's got a clean bill of health with no injuries picked up by the 22-year-old keeper. He played, his football development was in Japan and Belgium, with a move made to the Italian club Parma only in 2024, where they paid just a fee of 8 million euros for him. He made 37 appearances last season, keeping 8 clean sheets, and he is a Japanese international with 18 caps already. And that's the beauty of signing Suzuki. Despite a hefty price tag of around 30 million, he can attract a massive Japanese and massive Asian audience who would lap up West Ham's merchandising, which will indeed help to pay for the transfer fee alone. He's a modern day goalkeeper, great distribution and footwork, and he's the epitome of the sweeper keeper that Potter seems to desperately want to sign. He boasts a strong save ratio of 80%. He's got agility and positioning, makes him tough to beat, especially in one-on-one situations. A very calm goalkeeper, very calm under pressure, and he's got a voice on him in terms of organising his defence, giving orders around, and making sure that the 18-yard box is properly covered. He's been tipped to be one of the top goalkeepers in Europe, and he's heading in that direction. Of the two, I think Hermansen is more likely to come to West Ham. But if we are in for Suzuki, that would be quite exciting. So again, let's wait and see what happens. But the news is we've got bids in. It looks as if we're trying to complete deals. So let's hope that does happen. Watch out for further news. Watch out for the video I'm going to do, a review in the game against Everton as well. Thank you for watching and listening. Do subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all again very soon.